We want to make things right. We want to do what's right by the customer. Our number one priority right now is to ensure that he gets made whole.
Well, 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 when you didn't think this could get any more crazier, the CEO of Bricks Minifigs has basically admitted defeat. He's put out a massive blog post that we're going to go through. Also, there is an interview on Fox News, which I'll play you some of that at the end of the video. So make sure you do leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. If we could hit that, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, what I'm about to tell you is crazy. So Josh and Brandon, the store owners of that Oregon store, have now parted ways with Bricks and Minifigs. If that's not one admission of guilt, I don't know what is. So they've mutually agreed to part ways with Bricks and Minifigs because of a awful social media campaign. The real word they used was devastating. Yes, it's devastating for Brian and his father. I don't know if it's devastating for you guys because all you've done is lie. We have seen some crazy things throughout this, but for them to step down is the first admission of guilt, in my opinion. The blog post also confirmed that the Oregon store is now permanently closed. It won't open again. So I do think Ben might have something planned for that at the end. I don't know, because that building now is a very famous building in the case of who stole $200,000 worth of Lego. Now, on the subject of numbers, the CEO actually said it's worth 100,000, not 200,000. So again, he's kind of just shifting the value to what he pleases. Yes, Lego prices fluctuate, and what the value in 2023 might not be the value in 2026, but we all know Lego goes up every year quite a lot, so can't imagine it would have gone down. But either way, the value of the stuff isn't important. What's important is Brian getting his Lego back, or the compensation to the value of that Lego. The CEO then went on to say that they were severely underpaid. So he's accusing the previous owners of underpaying Brian, which in one idea doesn't make sense because they said it's worth 200,000, not 100,000 like you're saying. But then in another sense, if what he's saying is true, it means everything that was sold, they actually underpaid him for. Now he reckons he's got all the documentation and stuff like that. So if you have, release it. Show that you're not lying and the previous owners were at fault. Because all you've done in that interview and on that blog post is shift blame onto the previous owners. And now you want to sit down with Brian and sort this out, pay him what he's owed or give him back what he's owed. It's just ridiculous because at this point, you've taken it way too far. There is evidence in the recordings you knew about the consignment. You lied saying the consignment isn't in the franchise agreement, even though it is. So what do you want us to do? Forget about that? That's exactly what you want, and we're not going to. You want us to forget about all the lies you've made up against Ben, all the arrests you've made on Ben, all that police cam footage where your employees lied. Honestly, I'm glad Josh and Brandon stepped away because they were ruining your business just as much as you are. But let's be honest, there's not much of a business left because you've thrown away a multi-million-pound company for the sake of $100,000 in your words, or $200,000, which is the estimated total that it started with. Was it really worth it? Because honestly, I would say no, and I think the rest of the world would actually say no. You're now trying to save what little you have left of that company by coming out and saying you want to sort it out with Brian and stuff like that. If you really wanted to sort it out, you'd have done it from the beginning so it never went this far. Now, Ben still has part 3, and I think he's got more parts as well to release, so this isn't going away anytime soon, and it doesn't end until the Mansell family get what they're owed. Now I'm going to leave you with some footage of the Fox News interview because honestly, it's a little bit laughable. But let me know all your thoughts and comments in the comment section down below. Like I said, please subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 1,000. Leave a like, and yeah, if this goes any further, I will keep you updated. There might not be daily updates anymore. Who knows? But I will keep you updated. Enjoy that interview, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, we've been working to try and work with Mr. Mansell for a good little while. We've asked for documentation as far back as a year ago, but we continue to reach out to try and get towards a resolution with the Mansell family on this matter.
And have you and Mr. Mansell ever talked directly one-on-one?
Not as of yet. I have sent direct messages to the Mansell family and to Mr. Mansell specifically, seeking to have a sit-down meeting, meet at the table, and go over all the documentation that we have, and to be able to talk through. And from our side of things, if there have been any missteps through the transition of the store, we want to make things right. We want to do what's right by the customer. But all we asked for was documentation, and every time we asked for that up to this point, we seem to kind of then lose the connection. So, our franchise operates on the buy-sell trade model for Lego. We love Lego and everything that it stands for, and so. But we know that consignment agreements can be very difficult, and so we make sure that in our operations manual, through all of our training, we train all franchisees that consignment is not part of our model. It's written into the operations manual, it's trained on, and it's very explicit. However, unfortunately, we had a franchisee go rogue and enter into a consignment agreement without our knowledge or authorization, and then it appears that may not have been honored with the person that she had entered into that consignment agreement with. And then through other circumstances, we ended up retaking over that store. And in the shuffle, there appears to have been just some confusion as to how, why, and where, like some of this came about. And as we tried to figure that out, we started uncovering more documents, more information. And what we found was that there were 3 separate sets of records that were being kept that shows that Mr. Mansell was significantly underpaid by that former franchisee. And so we've been trying to make sure that we can properly do like a forensic accounting and make sure everything is being looked at properly so that we can work together to get that family a resolution. From what we can tell, yes. The documentation that we've been able to pull out from a couple of different sources indicates that more sets were sold than were reported to him, and from that unauthorized consignment agreement, but that the overall payments to him did not match what had been sold through the store under the previous franchisee.
Okay.